Our planet is in a constant state of motion. Not only does it spin on its axis, but it also revolves around the Sun and makes a complete trip around the galaxy every 230 million years. But what if all that motion suddenly stopped? What would happen if the Earth suddenly stopped spinning? Air would continue to flow toward the east at the equator. As the Earth slows down, the days become longer and the nights become shorter. This is the force that causes moving objects, such as water and air currents, to deflect to the right of their path when viewed from above the North Pole. Because the Earth rotates faster at the equator than at the poles, the Coriolis effect influences weather patterns, ocean currents, and even the paths of hurricanes. Without rotation, weather patterns would be completely different and many areas that are currently habitable might become uninhabitable. Since the sun's rays hit the Earth at a greater angle, from the shifting of the oceans to the changing of the seasons and the alteration of weather patterns, the consequences would be far-reaching and dramatic. Let's just hope it doesn't happen anytime soon. The energy is spread over a larger area, resulting in cooler temperatures. On the other hand, when the Earth rotates faster, the days are shorter and the nights are longer, leading to warmer temperatures because the sun's rays hit the Earth more directly. If the Earth were to stop rotating, we would experience extreme temperature variations depending on whether we were closer to the sun or farther away from it. The poles would face the sun for 6 months each year and experience extreme heat, while the other half of the planet would face away from the sun and plunge into darkness and extreme cold. There would be no more seasons. During the winter, the Earth would be closer to the sun and the northern hemisphere would experience summer. During the summer, the Earth would be farther away from the sun and the northern hemisphere would experience winter, where the ground beneath our feet would be moving faster than the surrounding atmosphere. Eventually, the air would come to a stop. However, it would not settle down immediately. Meteorologists predict that strong winds would first push any stationary objects, such as houses, trees, and people to the east. These objects would continue to move eastward until they came to rest against the Rocky Mountains or other large land formations. You are probably aware that centrifugal force, or the force generated by the Earth's rotation, is partly responsible for the equatorial bulge. Without this force, the planet would be a bit flatter at the poles and wider at the equator. But how exactly does centrifugal force work? To answer that question, let's start with Newton's first law of motion, which states that an object at rest stays at rest and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Earth's rotation generates a force that acts outward from the planet's center to its surface. This force counteracts the inward pull of gravity and makes the planet wider at the equator. People and buildings would continue to move forward at the equator due to inertia. If the Earth were to stop spinning, all the water, air, they would continue to move forward at the equator because there's nothing to stop them. After all, according to Newton's first law of motion, a body in motion stays in motion. So everyone and everything would continue to move in the direction they were going, which would mean that all of the world's oceans would spill into the eastern Pacific and Indian Oceans. However, since most of the Earth's land is located in the northern hemisphere, all of the water would eventually come to rest against the Asian and Australian land masses. The eastern coastlines of Asia and Australia would become new waterfalls, and gigantic tides would continue to flow back and forth between the Pacific and Indian Oceans until friction eventually brought them to a halt. The atmosphere would fare no better. Earth's rotation also affects the length of day and night and the temperature of the planet. Earth's rotation is also partly responsible for the Coriolis effect. So, it seems that life on Earth as we know it would not be possible if the Earth were to stop spinning. Now check out what would happen if the Earth suddenly stopped orbiting the Sun, or watch another video instead.